Thanks, James.
All right, good afternoon and welcome to the information session on the WSIB Health and Safety Excellence Program, and of which ACSESS is the provider, specializing obviously in the temporary agency industry. And so my name is James Ibedia, and I'm the Health and Safety Excellence Program Specialist with ACSESS. And we also have Jennifer on the line. If you want to just introduce yourself and what you do from ACSESS perspective, Jennifer.
Hi, Rob. I think we were emailing a little bit back and forth, but I am ACSESS's Manager of Membership, Education, and Communications. I began in the spring, and I'm administering the program with James.
All right. Yeah, Jennifer is the financial side. So if you haven't paid your invoices or costs that we're going to talk about to join the program, then you'll probably be dealing with Jennifer. I'm more the technical program support, as I'm going to go through with you this afternoon. So let's just the agenda of what we're going to go through is what really the Excellence Program is all about, what it involves, the steps joining, and basically the recognition you get as a result of financial. So you're going to get some money back, and recognition, which we call non-financial, in the form of badges. So, Rob, if you want to unmute and ask questions as I go through, it's not like we've got a large crowd, so you're welcome to interrupt me at any time. So the presentation basically follows the way the WSIB designed the program. If you're familiar with the previous predecessor program, which was called Safety Groups, it has ceased to exist. And this is a totally different, brand new approach to a rebate or reward program, and still run by the WSIB. And basically, they've broken it down into these 4 kind of steps as the journey through the program, which is what I'm going to take you through this afternoon. So first thing, talk about a little bit about the benefits of joining the program. Obviously, I've already mentioned there is a financial incentive. There's a non-financial incentive with recognition, with badges, which I'll be talking about as well. It aligns very well with the new rate framework model, as if you're successful in the program, not only do you get rebates, money back, which obviously can go against paying your premiums, so indirectly reducing your premium, and more directly, if you are practicing good health and safety and claims management, then your claims costs hopefully will go down, and that, under the rate framework, can have an impact to your premium as well. So certainly a lot of benefits on that side of it. And then on the human side of it, you've got improvement to your health and safety culture, your morale, all those human aspects that make a business more productive and competitive in today's world, right? The other part of it, as part of the program, you have the support, the guidance through the program. You have a process to follow, which really helps you to implement a good health and safety program. And so it does provide that structure for folks, especially we're not, in the field of health and safety, that type of a structure. So that's where we come in. That's where I come in. I've been doing this for health and safety for about 30 years. And I've actually worked in the temp agency industry for a little while, and I've been supporting the safety group program and now the excellence program with ACSESS now, well, I don't know, probably over 10 years now. As far as specifics to services provided through our program for temp agencies. We have things like regular group meetings, networking. I'm always available one-on-one, so I deal with several calls a day, people asking specific questions on some of the things we're going to talk about today. We provide sample evidence stories, support navigating the online platform. So a lot of the work that I'm going to talk about today that's involved in the program, the WSIB has established a portal for the Excellence Program, and that's what we both work on. And then you've got on the ACSESS website an online resource library, and then of course my guidance, and hopefully with the experience I've had over the 30 years, as I've mentioned. So we start with join. So that's the first step, join the program. So we hope that you know, after this presentation, you see the actual benefits and that you'll join the program. The fees, if you're an ACSESS member, it's $825. And then if you get money back, we take 2% of that as an additional fee. For non-members, it's $1,000 and then 2% as well. So that fee covers basically everything to support you through the program, any events, meetings, working with me, all of that that is required from the technical support in the program to achieve your annual rebates. And I'm going to talk about that again as I go through the presentation. So basically, you tell us you're going to join. There's a link if you want to register online, and you pay your fee. And as soon as we know that, then I send you a welcome email that gives you the instructions on and a link to the portal to register your company on the portal and to begin the process. The first year that you join, you have to do a little questionnaire. It's called the Health and Safety Assessment. And that kind of just gauges for the WSIB if you're an advanced, intermediate, or beginner type firm when it comes to the maturity of your health and safety program. There's also a culture survey that's optional that you can use internally to gauge the safety culture. It's not used for anything else within the program other than a tool for you to see year over year as you participate in the program, changes in the perception, your safety culture. All right. The next thing you're going to get in that email is instructions to select 1 to 5 health and safety topics for what the board calls an action plan. So an action plan is the group of topics you've decided to select to work on in the Health and Safety Excellence Program. You'll also get a link to the, you'll actually get a copy of the member guideline, which is basically the Bible to the Excellence Program. So everything I'm going to talk about and probably much more will be in that guideline. And that will help you and I, again, referencing it, how to go about selecting the topics that I'm going to talk about. What is a topic? What is the topics involved? Each topic that I'm going to show you the list of is identified in there. So all the guidance is in the member guideline document. And as I mentioned, in addition, we have all sorts of resources from the ACSESS website. You'll get a password when you join that'll give you access to the Health and Safety Excellence tab, which provides all the resources that we're talking about, the samples, the standards, meeting handouts, meeting recordings. That's basically another resource in the library. So when you get that link, you will go to a page that looks something like this, and you will actually create a new account. And you'll end up using your email, and you'll generate a password. And from that point forward, that will be the link that you'll use to access your personal account on the WSIB Health and Safety Excellence portal. All right. So that's basically the technical join pieces, because once you join and you do that assessment, the next piece you're going to do is, as part of that, is select the topics, the health and safety topics you're going to work on. And they created 3 levels of topics: foundation, intermediate, and advanced. And in total, there's 36 topics. So if you're kind of new to the world of health and safety and your maturity of your safety program, you've got some things in place, but kind of just getting more and more formal, you might be you might want to focus in on those 10 foundation topics. If you've got those well in hand, then you'll be intermediate and advanced. And that's kind of the idea. These are the level 1 foundation topics. And you can see there's 10 of them. And basically, they're kind of pretty well more standalone. You work on them individually. And regardless of where the assessment placed you as a firm, you can select topics at any level. You can start anywhere that makes sense for your organization. So these are the level 1 topics. The one unique topic that I highlighted here in control of hazards topic, the reason I highlighted is because the one unique thing about that one, it is one of the topics, it is the only topic you can actually repeat over and over again to address a specific hazard. So when you select a control of hazard, you are selecting it because you're going to address a specific hazard, like COVID-19 exposure, like falling from heights, exposure to a chemical where you would put in some sort of a respiratory protection program, traumatic injury from falls, sprains and strains from ergonomic type scenarios. So, and you could continue to pick any of those topics over a period of time, depending on the number of hazards. So control of hazards used to address a particular hazard within your organization. Then we go on to level 2, 17 topics. The only difference here when you see the list is they've grouped a few of them. So it makes sense if you're going to take competency that you work on training, they kind of go hand in hand. You don't have to, because it says concurrent implementation suggested, but it does make a lot of sense to work on these together because of the fact that they're so closely related. I even typically suggest to folks that control of documents and control of records, they're very similar, that you may want to work on those together as well. All right. And then there's the level 3 documents, which again have a standalone and then a suggested work on together, which is the concurrent, more advanced, where we're getting into internal, external audits and things of management review. These are the level 3 topics, and there are 9 of those. So that makes up the 36 topics. And so basically, once you're on the portal, the first thing you're going to do after you've registered your company, you've done the assessment, you've done the culture survey, if you choose to, is go into a tab on that portal that's called topic selection. And you're going to select from those 36 topics what it is you're going to tackle on. All right. You're only allowed to select a maximum of 5. Obviously, the minimum is 1, or else you wouldn't be in the program. So anywhere from 1 to 5 topics, and you have 365 days from the day I approve that topic list, which they call an action plan, on the portal. Then the clock starts ticking. Right. So topic selection, very important, because you want to obviously pick a topic that's important, that's going to have an impact to your health and safety, make your workplace healthier and safer, fits into your current health and safety management system, addresses hazards. So you really want to take a look at what do I need to do in the world of safety, and how does that fit into the program, as opposed to, oh, here's the program, I'm going to pick that topic, right? And it doesn't really correlate necessarily to an objective or an issue in the world of health and safety. A non-compliance, like if you don't have a policy, you probably want to pick that topic. The health and safety responsibilities topic to work on. So really, the focus is, what do you need to do to improve health and safety, and then look at that answer to that, and how does that fit into potentially one of the 36 topics. Okay. There is a section in the guide that requires topic selection to fall into one of the 5 categories. So that's one of the things I work with you on. When you say, James, I want to work on these like 4 or 5 topics, I'll say, okay, what's one of them? Is that a new topic? Okay, no brainer. That's a category 1. Do you already have that topic in place? Yeah, we're doing something with it, but it's like 10 years old. It's not really implemented. Nobody's following it. And it's broken, right? So that could be a significant gap topic, right? Or you might come to me and say, James, we're a temp agency. We've never done construction placements, but we want to really move into that. So this is a new whole area of placements. You're going to have a whole new set of maybe safety issues you're going to need to deal with that are part of your current program. So that might fall into what we call a significant change in the workplace, right? Category 4, if you've selected a control of hazard topic, then it'll be a category 4, right? And then if you've already been in the program, for people that are now moving from year 1 to year 2, if you didn't finish a program, there's no problem. If you selected a topic and you never got to it, or you tried to complete it and it didn't get validated, you're going to talk about what that means. You can then select it again in the next action plan of the next year of the program. And there's no penalty or anything if you don't finish a topic. You start out, selecting 5 and you only actually finish 3, that's fine. All right. Obviously, the rebate is going to be impacted because you'll only get rebate recognition for 3 instead of 5 topics. So you've selected your topics. We've gone through them. They fall into categories. Depending on the category, there might be some additional document I asked you to fill in, which is called a rationale form. But typically, if they're all new, no other paperwork other than now for topic selection. Now we get into the second step in the journey. We finished with join. We're now at development. You need to develop those 5 topics. Like I said, you have 365 days. You will fill in what we call an evidence story document, a Plan, Do, Check, Act document, basically explaining through Plan, Do, Check, Act how you're going to implement that topic. The topic requirements are in that guide. And in addition, the board has published a sample of a Plan, Do, Check, Act evidence story for all 36 topics. So you can actually use the guide description for the topic plus this publication, which I send you as well when you join. And you basically use the sample to help you. You're going to obviously customize it to your needs, but you're going to write the Plan, Do, Check, Act story for your topic into this template, and you have the sample to guide you. The development requires you that you obviously implement the topic. You write a standard procedure, and create any forms that you're going to use. That would be kind of, plan activity. The do is you actually implement it. You train your people. You put up the signage. A lot of people picked COVID, for example. So they had pictures of signage and barriers, screening stations. That's all do. Everything you do to implement that you can show evidence for. Check is basically auditing what you've done, your plan and do. And then act is making any corrections if you identified any gaps as a result of the check. So you basically put that information into this template. and that would be the activity column. And on the validation evidence column, you basically list, here's what I uploaded to the portal for evidence. Again, for plan, it would be a copy of your standards, some blank forms. For do, it could be sign-off sheets for training records, a copy of a presentation or a safety talk that you may have used to train people on, pictures, video. So there's all kinds of things, and I've got a slide to show you what kind of evidence the board, it's basically open to anything as well, okay? Because that'll be the demonstrate part. Here, you're just kind of listing your evidence, and then we're going to actually upload that evidence when we're demonstrating that we completed a topic. So the Plan, Do, Check, Act gets created for each topic. It gets put on this template that I provide you for all topics. Will go on one document. There'll just be 5 tables of the one that you see on the screen now. I also created a guide that I send you, which helps you to write what you need to include under plan, what you need to include under do and check and act. All right. So you get a guide as well to again, with some cheat sheet notes, as well as the sample, as well as the topic write-up. So there's a lot of good resources to help you with this, including me, if you need help, because I review it as well. And if there are, some wording and things that I can help you with, then I'll make those comments on it as well to make sure that, you haven't put the do stuff in the plan and, that kind of thing. So I do reviews of all of the evidence stories for all the topics and provide feedback. So you've written your story. I've reviewed it. And you're going to implement it as per your story. You're going to actually execute the plan, the do, check, and act. And when you've got it all ready and you've done all of the steps that you said you were going to do for that topic, then you have to demonstrate to the board through what we call validation process that you've actually done it. And so basically it's uploading the evidence story document. There's a spot on the portal so that the validator can review it to see, okay, here's what what you said you're going to do. And then we package the evidence for plan, for do, for check and act. And there's a spot on the portal for you to upload that evidence. All right. And as I said, the evidence can be any combination of things. So typically under plan, it's going to be a policy, procedure, document, something like that. For do, it could be interviews, it could be emails, training records, pictures, posters that you put up, social media postings on your website that have to do with the topic. So really, it's anything that you can think of out of the box that shows that you carried out the plan section, the do, the check, and the act. We package that together under plan evidence, do evidence, check evidence, and act evidence, and it gets uploaded to the portal. All right. I review it. That's the role that I play. So I look at your plan again. I look at your evidence for each topic, and if it looks like you've hit the nail right and you've got it, you've met all the criteria from the topic write-up in the guide. You've done a good PDCA story which fits or aligns well with the sample. Then I check the evidence. If the evidence that you said you were going to upload, you did upload, it makes it's good evidence for that topic, and we both agree. Then I click it for validation. So when you upload it to the portal, it does not go anywhere except for you and I, and it won't be looked at by the WSID validator until I send it for validation. And I only do that when we're both comfortable that it's as good as we think it's going to be, and that it should pass the validation. Okay. When I click it and send it for validation, it takes a couple of weeks for a validator to go through the topic, and they will mark it complete or incomplete. If it's incomplete, we'll get a report on that topic in the portal that says what the gap was and what needs to be done, and you have 60 days to fix it, to address the validation, right? And you get to submit additional evidence to do that. You can tweak the evidence story to and update that, and it's all based on the feedback, right? So this is the process that'll happen on the portal between you and I, and then the validation. And all of this has to happen before the 365 days. So if I haven't submitted a topic by midnight of day 365, then that topic will not be valid and will not get validated, will automatically be marked incomplete, and you won't get recognition or rebate for that particular topic. There's no penalty, and you can select that topic in the next year if you still want to finish it off, right? So the important thing is, do not wait till the end to submit all your topics. You have 365 days. You should set yourself a timeline on, which topics you want to work on first, second, third, as you work through the year. And, hopefully by the last month, you're just finishing off the last topic. All right. There's two levels of validation. The first level is called a desk validation, where they basically validate what we've uploaded on the portal. They'll look at your evidence story for each of the topics, the Plan, Do, Check, Act. They'll look at the evidence, and then based on that, they will mark it complete or incomplete. And as I said, if there's a gap, then you have 60 days from that date that they submit the gap report on the portal to fix the gap, and then submit additional evidence, and then they'll look at it again. If on the second review, it was not still marked as complete, then it'll be incomplete. And there is a what they call a reconsideration process, but that happens way down the road if we still feel strongly that it should have been complete. The other thing they do is a small number of participants in the program can still get selected for what we call on-site validation. So you might have had a complete on a desktop, they go on site and nothing makes sense. And so they can actually change the status, okay, of a topic if in fact the on-site validation did not verify what you submitted on the desk validation. All right, probably not very would happen very commonly if you did everything that you submitted, but it's certainly possible, and it's only a very small number of firms. So if a topic is marked complete, you'll be notified typically within 90 days if you're going to be selected for on-site validation, and that notification occurs after all your topics have been finished desk validation. So if they're still waiting for you to submit a couple of topics, that decision won't be made until all the topics have been desk validated that they're going to validate, and then they'll make that decision of on-site. And again, it's only a small number of firms. Validation process. What does a validator typically do? Well, as I mentioned, they're going to go through everything we've uploaded. But first, they're going to look at your compass statement. They're going to look at your profile that the board has on you. How big are you? How many employees? What's your premium? What's your experience? So they get a picture of who you are. And then they'll look at the Plan, Do, Check, Act story. They'll look at the evidence that you uploaded, which is number 3, to support the PDCA. And then if that aligns with the criteria of the topic requirements in the excellence guide, then typically they'll mark it complete. Okay. If anything's missing, marks incomplete, and then you get a gap report basically on the portal. That's where everything gets typed in by the validator. We go to that topic, and then you can see exactly what was missing. All right. So now you've done your join, you've done your development and demonstrate through validation. Now you get achievement. So if topic is completed successfully through the validation process, there are two types of recognition, financial and non-financial. And it's on a per topic basis for the financial. And I'm going to show you what that looks like. So the way the financial rebate works is depending on what the board calls your predictability, which I'm going to show you in a moment, you can get 1.4% of your year before premium. So premium as of December 31st of the year prior to when your topics were closed out and validated. All right. So if your topics were finished in 2021 and the board validated everything that you're going to submit as complete, then the rebate will be based on the premium, total premium paid in as of December 31st, 2020, the year prior. Okay. And again, depending on your predictability, you'll get 1.4% per topic, or you'll get 2% per topic completed. The minimum for small firms is $1,000 per topic, up to 75% of your annual premium. So you can never get back more money than 75% of your annual premium. All right. So depending on the size of your firm, typically, the smallest types of firms will get about $5,000 back if they completed 5 topics. And that's regardless of the 1.4 or 2%, because if you actually achieve the minimum below the $1,000, automatically they bump it up. So if that 1.4 is less than the 1,000, then they'll bump it up to the 1,000, as long as the total never goes beyond 75% of your total annual premium for the previous year. They also capped the max on a per topic, so that's $50,000. So large firms, if they do 5 topics, they max out they'll max out at $250,000. So here's that predictability that I talked about. Now, for temp agencies, it's not as much of an issue yet, because for now, because of the complexity of multiple classifications under the rate framework, they basically last year and again for the next year will be using the 1.4% on a per topic basis. But in general, predictability is a factor, actuarial factor calculated by the board on your rate framework statement, and it's in a percentage. And so for firms, general firms in the program, if their predictability is greater than 20%, they fall into the 1.4% per topic rebate. And if predictability is less than 20, they fall in the 2% per topic. Where normally is that information found? On your compass statement. So you'll see the circle on the bottom left there. That's where you'll see what your predictability is. And that's how normally you would factor in the percent per topic rebate that goes into the formula, the calculation I'm going to show you in the next slide. But like I said, for temp agencies, it's 1.4. All right. So they have a rebate calculator that you can access through the portal. Basically, you plug in your premium for the December 31st previous year. You'll multiply it if this, in this example, the predictability from Compass was less than 20%. So it became a 2% per topic. This company did 3 topics. They get $5,786.12 back. A couple of other examples. I did a large employer, smaller employer. So for a larger employer, $150,000 premium, predictability is at 30, puts them at 1.4, which is what a temp agency would be at. If you did 5 topics, so that'd be a total of 7% of your premium back, you're going to get $10,500 back for doing the work that I just talked about on 5 topics. Not bad, I would say. All right. Now we go to a smaller employer. We got about $13,000 premium. Again, here, it's not going to matter too much because this type of a firm you're going to see is going to fall into the minimum. So even at 25% predictability, it doesn't matter whether they're 1.42%, because even if we did a 1.4% calculation, okay, per topic, it comes out to $910. Well, that's less than the max you're allowed, the minimum you're allowed on a topic. And so the board will automatically bump you to 1,000. So you'll get 5,000. As long as that 5,000 is not exceed 75% of your total premium, right? And I did a calculation to see what the sweet spot is for that 75%. And so if your premium is at about $6,667, 75% of that would be the 5,000. So if your premium is less than that $6,667, then you probably will get less than 5,000 because you'll exceed the 75%, and you can't get more than 75%. All right. And remember, the cap is at 50,000. So really, when it comes down to it, it's pretty good money. It pays for you joining the program. If you're going to be an ACSESS member as well as a Health and Safety Excellence Program member, it'll pay for your ACSESS membership as well. And then probably some extra money for you as well. And really, when you really look at the work involved, we really come down to the extra work really would be writing the Plan, Do, Check, Act story, collecting and packaging the evidence, and uploading that to the portal for validation. Because everything else you should be doing if you're implementing a safety program. So you're writing standards and procedures, creating forms, you're training people, you're putting up that signage, you're setting up safety boards. All of that you'd be doing regardless of the excellence program or not to implement your safety program. You should be auditing and checking. So that's your check, all of your programs to see if they're actually working and implemented. And you should be improving them as you go. So all of that activity, I typically say you should be doing anyways. And the real work for the thousands of dollars you stand to get back is putting that in, all of that, writing it up into the Plan, Do, Check, Act, packaging the evidence into PDF files or Excels or JPEGs, and uploading it to the portal. That's the extra work. All right. Nobody gets money for free for nothing, right? So you've got to do something to generate that rebate. So that's the financial rebate. The board also doesn't want you to wait too long to get your money back. So they do what they call quarterly check runs. So if your action plan closes, meaning all of your topics finished all the validation process that I talked about, and it closed in any of the dates on the action plan closure column. So for example, the board finished its validation, internal review, okayed everything, decided they're not going to do desktop, and they decided, and that happened prior to January 30th, 2022, you'll get a check probably the first week of February 2022. All right. Now, in order for that to happen, you and I have to work together and get everything submitted so that the board can do its thing in time to close it so that you fall into that rebate run. So I usually say, look at the date that you're maybe targeting, be realistic, but don't send me the last topic, on, the last minute, because we still have to review it. There may be work that you need to do. So I typically say, at least if we want to make sure the real deadline is hit, which is the expiry date of your plan, then at least 3 weeks prior to that, you should have sent me your last and final topics for review in order to prepare them for validation. If you wait to submit a topic, the day before your expiry date, you're putting both you and I in a very bad situation where, we're going to have to rush to get this topic in, and it may not be even ready for submission. And it'll probably end up incomplete. So there are some targets, some deadlines to work at, so that the implementation process goes smoothly for both you and I, and you are able to hit your target closure date for your rebate. All right. This table is for 2022. Every August they republish it, and they keep recycling the quarterly rebate runs. So if you miss one, the only thing that happens is your closure date will get bumped to the next one, and so you'll have to wait an extra quarter to get your money. All right. As long as the topics are submitted before the expiry date by me for validation, they will count. So if I submitted it the day before the expiry date, fine. The board will probably validate it maybe 2-3 weeks after your expiry date. That doesn't matter. It's the submission date by me prior to expiry date that qualifies the topic for rebate. And as long as we meet that, we're good. Okay, and remember, the expiry date for all your topics is 365 days from the day that I approve them on the portal. The other achieve is the non-financial. So basically, it's recognition by the board. There's a digital badge that you can get, and the board is working on more. They put it on your Compass, which is and on your public portal as well, where companies can look you up. It'll show you're a member of the Excellence Program, and so you'll get these level badges. So as soon as you join on the portal, you can download your 2021 member badge, and you can use that on your website, on your emails, on your any sort of promotional material. And there's a guide for how you can use the badge. What you can't do is alter it or anything like that. So there are some rules around it, but it's for you, free to use, right? Once you finish your foundation topics, you'll get an additional badge. So if you finish all the topics in foundation, you'll get your foundations badge, and then there's an intermediate for all those topics, and an advanced. So as you progress and complete all the topics within one level, you also get a badge. And the board's constantly looking at more and more ways to do the non-financial recognition, promote companies that are really committed to implementing their safety program as well. So that is join, develop, demonstrate, and achieve. I'll open it up for any questions that you might have. You can unmute yourself, or you can type into the chat. And it's not a large group, so please feel free to unmute. If there's any questions that I can answer.
James, will you be sharing the presentation out with everybody afterwards?
Yes, I believe we can do that. Jennifer, we can send it out. I'll send you the presentation, and you can email it out to everyone. Yes, we'll do that for you. No problem.
Great, thank you.
Any questions? I know, Lillian, you came in a little late. Rob, any questions on the program?
We have somebody on the phone as well. that can
Oh, someone's
unmute
on the
too.
phone and there's no name there. So 416-358-401. Any questions? I did such an excellent job. Oh,
It was
well,
very,
yep.
it was very clear.
Yeah, I mean, it's not too complicated, really. You do the work, you get the rebate, right? And like I said, it's if you're implementing a safety program anyway, why not do that little extra bit on the Plan, Do, Check, Act and the packaging of what you do to demonstrate to the board for that recognition, financial and non-financial. So really, in essence, to me, someone in the safety world for 30 years, it's a no-brainer if you're committed to safety. And it provides that structure and support system and network for you to be able to do it instead of doing it all on your own. And I help you pretty well every step of the way. That's the role of the provider.
Well, I don't want to jump to the conclusion, but if there are no other questions, James, I think we can all say that you really covered this very thoroughly. So I think we should applaud that at the same point that there are no questions.
Yeah, I guess so. I guess that could be a good sign, right? I tried to, once it sinks in, if questions come up, please feel free to, give me a call. You can go through Jennifer. She'll send you my contact information. Anything I can help to help you make the decision to join the program. We're always trying to recruit. We've got at least about, well over 30, 40 type firms. A lot of the major temp agencies in the province are in the program. So you'd be joining a good group to network with, safety folks that are usually willing to share their thoughts, ideas, experiences as well. So that always is a bonus.
Great. Well, thank you very much, James.
Thank you.
And thank you all for attending. And like James said, we'll be sure to share the recording as well as his PowerPoint. So please don't hesitate to reach out if you have any follow-up questions, and we'll give you 8 minutes back of this session. So
Yay.
Thank you all.
Wow.
Have a good
All right,
afternoon,
thanks.
everyone.
Thank you very much, everybody. Have a great rest of your day.
Thank you.